I first came across you, I want to say when we started following each other, maybe 2 or 3 years ago when I did my first podcast with Tiago Forte. And I think you had just been moving or in the process or something to moving to Taipei,
Yeah.
Taiwan. So maybe let's talk a little bit about that kind of wanderlust, moving across, or even just the practical things of cost of living. So maybe kind of bring us into that kind of moving around and traveling, et cetera.
Yeah, so left my consulting job in 2017. My plan was I'll just become a freelance consultant and have a little more time in my life. It was kind of a naive conception. I didn't really plan it out. I didn't have clients when I left. It was a bit of a jolt of reality is when I quit. It was pretty scary and hard. I didn't know how to like actually land freelance clients. I had a hunch I could do it, but I didn't really know if I could. So I did like hardcore freelancing for like 6 months, but in that block, like I did end up landing a couple clients like 3, 4 months in, made some money, like, okay, I can make this work. I got my bearings. But in that, I had a lot more flexibility and freedom over my time. And it was just like so overwhelming. It was like, this is amazing. I can be anywhere. I'm working remotely for this client. It doesn't even matter where I am. My entire life, I had thought like, oh, you have to get a job and that's where you live.
Totally. Totally.
So that whole year was, okay, how can I lean into this freedom? I did a trip to Asia for a month and ended up landing a consulting project before I did that. So I was doing it from it. I was in a $20 a night surfer hostel on the edge of a cliff in Bali. And I was like, this is freaking amazing. What have I been doing in these cubicles for the last 10 years? So I just wanted to like follow that and see like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't know if this can work, but I'm just going to move to Asia and see what happens. So I decided to move to
Wow.
Taipei to start. I was going to travel around. I ended up meeting my now wife in that first month of moving there. And that
The
then
first
it kind
month
of,
you met Angie? Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it became a very it went from like a solo journey to a dual journey at that point.
Nice. And then so not just, I mean, being able to travel around and kind of pick up, but like now I'm pretty, you're in Austin, Texas. And then, how have you been keeping it weird, as they say in Austin? That's like their, mantra or whatever.
Yeah, I think I was attracted to here. There's a lot of like people who screw around and connect with people on the internet and are building
Totally.
digital businesses, moving here and or have lived here already. So it's cool to be around some of those people. Those people have different um, ways of living life, like typically more flexible, available during the week, like don't really care when you're meeting up, as opposed to like New York or Boston, where I've lived before. Those places are very centered around like full time jobs and like people are very busy.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas like I think here my bet was okay. There's more people working flexibly, creative industries, see value in connecting with people as part of their life too, and like just wanting to see if we like that and potentially stay here longer if we like it.
And then, so I think you said about a year, you're going to give it a try. If correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the plan.
So we have 4 more months of a sublet. We don't have a plan after that. We've just been figuring out as we go for the last 3.5 years. So we'll probably just keep doing that. Yeah, I don't need much certainty in terms of where I'm living or what I'm doing. And I've kind of realized that through my journey and also gained an appreciation for the uncertainty. So I'm very happy in like not knowing where I'll end up. I think other people need that a lot more than me. I'm not like that.
That's interesting. I love to hear it. So maybe we don't have to talk too much, but like you mentioned, it went from a solo kind of journey to a dual journey. Like I know that there's trials and tribulations of relationships and getting to know people and intimately, especially. But like, what are some of the things like you've learned on that journey? Because I know it's probably, not chalk it up to this is easy or it's just self-explanatory or et cetera. Like, what exactly have you learned from that?
Yeah, it's definitely harder, right? Because you're balancing two people's desires and interests and career ambitions and family connections. We're from two different countries across the world. We're from two different cultures. We're from two
Totally.
different ways of thinking about a lot of things. To me, it's fun. You get to like see the differences, see more different, and see different ways of looking at things. I
Sure.
think it's obviously like a harder degree of difficulty. But I think both me and her are both somebody that don't really want the default copy paste script of our lives anyway. So it's very natural to be with somebody looking at things that way too.